do a lesson. Sit down over there. Do you know what sympathy means?
Hmm?
Do you know what sympathy means?
No.
There's a word called sympathetic. Some people might think it means that you care, but it's not.
It's not.
It's more like you get it. You recognize that someone has been hurt.
Hmm?
That's all. So you look at another thing and you say, wow, that thing is hurt. I notice you're hurt. You can say to the thing, and you're being sympathetic. And you usually feel bad. Pity.
Hmm.
Do you know the word pity?
Pity?
Yeah, it means feel bad about. Like, ugh, that poor guy is homeless. That is sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another word called empathy.
Empathy?
Empathy.
Opposite of sympathy?
Not quite the opposite, but you could think of it that way. It's more like in the same direction, but to a better or fuller amount. So empathy is where you build a relationship with the thing that is hurt. And you're not judging them. You're feeling with them. You're choosing to be there for them. And then you're trying to act and feel as if you are them and what it feels like. So it's like the golden rule, a little bit. What's the golden rule?
Golden rule. I know the golden rule. It's something that you did bad and you tell the golden rule.
Well, what is the golden rule? It's about acting towards other people. So you treat other people the way you would like to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
So that gets tricky because what if you really like boxing and wrestling and someone else doesn't? Should you wrestle and box that person if they don't like to have it done to them?
No.
No. Some people like to roughhouse and do rough play, and others don't. So that's an example of the golden rule not working. So you can try your best to understand what it's like to be someone else. Like, for example, one of our chickens.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel if, like yesterday, one of our chickens had an egg explode inside her.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't explode, it cracked open. And it's hard to pass an egg that's been cracked open. It makes them feel sick. And it probably hurts, but we don't really know what it feels like to have an egg break inside of us. So your mom and I went and we spent time with her and we researched really quickly. Actually, mom already knew what to do. Where you give them a warm bath. And so dad held her gently in a warm bath and she was able to pass the egg. And then she wasn't in pain. So then the next thing after empathy is compassion, and that's what mom and dad did. We thought about the chicken yesterday. We said, oh, that poor thing. She's having this problem. We recognized it, which is kind of sympathy. And then we imagined what it might be like to be that chicken. Oh, it must hurt. It must be uncomfortable. I don't have the same parts as a chicken, including my brain and my nerves, and definitely not the egg-laying parts. But I imagined it must be uncomfortable, so you have to do something. And so you go from sympathy to empathy to compassion. And compassion is doing something about it and offering your genuine medicine or what you can do to make a situation better. You roll up your sleeves. You use your personal relationship to the person that is hurt, including chickens, and you do something to make them feel better. So that's compassion. Compassion is paying attention to what other people feel and doing something good to make them feel better. So sympathy is important. That's paying attention to what it's like to be other people and recognizing when they're having a hard time. Empathy is really trying to imagine what it feels like to be the other person who's hurting. And compassion is doing something about it. And that's a good path to go on. So you know how sometimes when you do something you know is wrong, what would you do?
Huh?
What would you do if you realized that you did something wrong?
Clean it back up again?
That's if you make a mess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that you're going to make an effort to make it better, right? And some effort. work. You're going to put work in to make it better. Sometimes the work is just saying, oh, I realize I did a bad thing and I'm sorry. And here's what I might do differently next time. Right? Or you can walk into a situation that you didn't cause at all and go, oh my gosh, there's a problem here. How could I help? There's a spill on the ground. I didn't make the spill, but I bet you I could do something to help, especially since no one else is here to see it. I'll try to clean it up. And if it's a dangerous spill, I'll go, or something bigger than I can handle, I'll go get some help from someone. Anyone. Right?
Yeah.
So what did you learn sympathy is? Using your senses to recognize that someone else is being hurt. Sympathy. What's empathy?
Empathy.
Empathy.
Helping.
Helping. Or trying to imagine what it feels like to be another being. Empathy. So if someone's empathetic, it means that they walk around and their mind wanders and their heart feels what it's like to be other people. So you can be empathetic about happy feelings too.
Or you can be Sprout.
You know how sometimes when you see someone, you can kind of take on their emotions? Dropping their feelings, or if you go somewhere and there's people laughing and having a good time, that can kind of make you feel like you're happy too. That's empathy. And what's compassion again? Compassion equals action.
Compassion equals action.
So that's feeling with your empathy and then offering yourself your service to make the situation better. So when you're out there living in the world and encountering other beings, including our mother, the earth, try to be sympathetic. That means paying attention. Empathetic, which means trying to imagine what it might be like to be that other being. And then compassionate, which means digging in, rolling up your sleeves, and working together to make the world a better place. That's your lesson for today. Thank you for coming to the RV. You have any questions?
What questions?
I want to know if you have any questions based on the lesson.
Dad?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we be other beings instead of just humans?
We might get to.
Hmm?
We might get to.
Yeah.
We don't know though. Remember, there's a great mystery, the great unknown. And so what we know is we got to be born ourselves. And then when we pass on, something else happens. That's all we know. So you get to be you. And I never get to be you. That's what makes us special. Is we only get to be ourselves. Our whole lives. But there's a lot of unknowns, and one of those unknowns could be a question like, after I pass on from this body, do I get to come back as other things? Like maybe an alien in another galaxy, or a butterfly in my own backyard. And that's something we can imagine about, but we can never know for sure.
Dad?
Yeah.
Why doesn't the golden rule work on good things?
It does. Because, for example, do you like getting a birthday cake on your birthday?
Yes.
Yeah. So when other people's birthdays come around, what do you think needs to happen?
Party decorations?
Yeah, but what else? Do you think I should have a birthday cake on my birthday?
Yes.
That's because you like it. So you want to do that thing that makes you feel good. You want to do it to other people. Right? Having a birthday cake makes you feel good. So the golden rule is, if it makes me feel good, I bet you something like a birthday cake would make other people feel good too.
Mm-hmm.
So then maybe you can go out and use your compassion and find people in the world who don't get birthday cakes and make sure they get one. That could be something you started.
Does the golden rule work on something bad too?
Exactly, yeah. That's when you would choose not to do a thing, right? So the golden rule is, like, if you know that stealing, if someone took something that was yours without asking, that makes you feel bad, then you wouldn't want to do that to somebody else. You wouldn't steal from somebody else because you know it makes you feel bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always give credit.
Yeah. Do you want to eat your lunch out here?
No.
Okay. Have a good lunch. Let's do a lesson.